Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening in this crazy, crazy world that we are currently living in? Very sorry that I'm a couple of minutes late, but literally as I was booting everything up, including my bots, and yes, the bots are indeed running tonight, so I remembered that for once, everything decided to shut down. Everything froze. My entire computer just froze, and it's never happened like that before. It was kind of weird, so I had to do a hard reset where I just had to hold down on the power button, but that seemed to have done the trick. Everything seems to be working fine now. I was not having any issues earlier. I know that I was taxing my system a little bit earlier because I was ripping some Blu-rays in my collection because I'm starting to digitize my library. I finally was able to get kind of a makeshift Plex server set up. For those who don't know anything about Plex, it's really cool. Little system, but basically I'm starting to upload a lot of my stuff onto the server, having to start to actually create the files for the server as well. And so I'm wondering if that had anything to do with it whatsoever. But we have a new member already. So Leon Matik, what's going on, Leon? Thank you very much for joining as a member at the Citizen of Asgard level. Please enjoy the puppy right there. That's River. Yeah, that's my little sweetheart right there. But how is everyone doing this evening? Crazy stuff going on. Recent news has been breaking all about all of the things that have been shutting down. Obviously, tonight's main focus is going to be about the box office and how the box office is going to basically be trounced, I predict, for 2020, because we're already missing out on some major releases. Certain films have already been pushed back to 2021, and it was already going to be a down year anyway compared to last year's year where you had films like Avengers Endgame making, multiple billions of dollars at the box office. So it was already going to be hard to actually match that. Now it's going to be even harder because of everything else going on at this point in time. It has just been absolutely insane. We'll be talking about that today. Also, we'll be talking a little bit about how a bunch of asshats Disney really are. For those that were not following us over on the Park Hopping channel earlier, we were talking about some news about obviously the Disney parks shutting down. But the big story was that the college program has been shut down for Disney. So they decided to shut everything down. They're going to basically count it as a completion for all those people. And you're thinking, oh, that's awesome. They're counting it as a completion. Isn't that a good thing? Well, the problem is they're telling everyone, okay, get out. They're basically telling everyone to get the hell out, and they've got only like 4 days to do so. And many of these students are from overseas. So some of them actually can't go anywhere. So instead of Disney saying, hey, we're going to shut down the program, but you can stay here for as long as you need to, and we're going to provide, food or housing, etc. Like, instead of doing something like that, like a benevolent company would do, they've instead said, oh, we're just going to kick you out on your tail. We don't care what happens to you. That is basically the message that I'm getting. And it's amazing because there's people on Twitter that are in the thread that I posted on that defending Disney, saying, oh, well, they're saying that they get the program. Oh, that sounds pretty great to me. Yeah, that would be great if you had a place to stay. But if you're an 18 or 19-year-old kid, let alone from another country, and everything's getting shut down, including travel to said country, and you have nowhere else to go, it becomes a bit of a problem. So a lot of things to talk about tonight. But let's go ahead and jump into the chat. So first off on D-Live, Phone Nemo, what's going on, Phone Nemo? Captain Mr. Roy and Captain Dean Heiss are also in the chat as well. You guys are freaking awesome. We got Josue Vigia here 30 minutes early again. Slicer Neons, Forced Ghost Jeremy is here. What's going on? Father Christopher, hail to you, Father. Mr. Peabody, what is going on? Let's see. G-Monkey76 is here. Soul Assassin is here. Father says, could you let the people know I have 5 rolls of toilet paper and I'm willing to trade for a 25-year-old single malt scotch. Ooh, so not even cash, but a 25-year-old single malt scotch Father is willing to trade toilet paper for, and he's got 5 rolls. I don't know if that's going to be enough in this economy right now, because keep in mind, there's like nothing left. And there's probably people that are hoarding up on giant bags of them. So ridiculous. The Lonely Cynic, Laura, what's going on? The member, The Lonely Cynic, how's it going? Mr. Peabody says, good morning, Odin. Good morning to you. Good evening to me. HyperNext13, it looks like the whole of 2020 is postponed everywhere I see, whether traveling or movies due to CV. Yeah, so not only do we have the movie studios announcing postponement of some of their films, so obviously Fast 9 is one of the few films where we actually have a concrete release date. That has been pushed back to April of 2021. You also, of course, have No Time to Die, the next James Bond film, which has been pushed back to November. You have a lot of films that have been canceled, at least for now, and we don't have any knowledge of when the film's going to be released, like Mulan, which was set to debut at the end of March. Right now, it is postponed. No actual day is given. A Quiet Place Part 2, which was set to open, I think, this coming weekend. That has also been postponed without a release date. Antlers, which was a smaller budget film under the Disney brand, one of their other companies, was set to release as well over the next couple weeks. That has also been postponed for now. And now I think we're going to start to see certain films that are going to be debuting in April also getting the same treatment, depending on how long all of this lasts. So if this lasts another 2 weeks where the cases are continuing to climb, expect April releases to be to be postponed. And then it's not going to be long until the summer releases start to be impacted too. Big names, of course, that come to mind would be Black Widow, is set to release in May. I would not be surprised if a lot of those movies in the April and May months also begin to start being pushed back as well. But it's not even just that. It's also the production of movies is what Hypern was pointing out. That's a very good point, too. I know that production on Stranger Things has been shut down. Production on The Batman, right? Production on The Batman, the upcoming film with Robert Pattinson as Batman, has now been stopped as well. And the question really is going to remain is how many of these movies, obviously The Batman will probably be okay, but a lot of these things, right, the shows, I would say Stranger Things is probably also okay too, but how many of these movies, how many of these productions are going to be able to start back up again? Imagine if you're a smaller production company and you now have to pay the people that were already there, and then you'll have to pay them again to come back, and you're not going to have guarantee that the actors are going to be available for their contracts, etc. And now you have to recast. Now you have to delay even more so. How many of these productions are going to have to shut down permanently because of this stuff? And keep in mind, movies work on a clock. Contracts, right? These people, these actors and actresses, they're only available for a very short period of time. They're only available for a very small period. And so you have to ask yourself, will they be able to continue production on these things as soon as all this stuff goes away? Most likely not. A lot of them, for example, think about the Batman, right? The Batman, in all likelihood, might not be able to get back to production if Robert Pattinson has another project that he was planning to work on. Because the way it usually works is, okay, I'm setting aside 2 months or so to work on this project. Sometimes it's even less than that. And anything after that is going to be already pre-scheduled out. So it's going to be chaotic. As soon as it is, obviously right now it's chaotic, but even once this stuff passes over, and it's going to pass over, right? So just keep in mind, if anyone's still worried or concerned out there, things will get better, all right? Things will indeed get better. It seems that the measures that we're taking here in the United States are meant to try and curb that spike that we're inevitably going to have. So the number of cases will not be as much as in other countries. And so we're hoping that that's what our efforts are going to be doing. But at the end of the day, we also don't really know exactly how many people are going to be impacted. And because we're trying to curb it, it means that in all likelihood, it might actually extend over a longer period of time. And that's one of the things that is going to easily impact these studios and easily impact a lot of these production companies as well. Got a super chat here from Michael Thompson. Thank you very much, Michael Thompson, for the $20 super chat. Let me go ahead and just pull this up real quick because on the Streamlabs OBS, I normally love you, Streamlabs OBS, but ever since you've updated, I can't read all the messages like I used to be able to. So anyway, let's see here. Michael Thompson, thank you for that $20 super chat. He says, worked there at Typhoon with a lot of college program kids. They're definitely not there for the job credits or money. It's slave labor. They do it for fun to build relationships. Sad they are being sent home. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, it is very sad they're being sent home. And thank you for that super chat. And yeah, there's a bunch of people that I've been seeing making comments who have actually worked the college program. And that's what I've heard consistently is that the pay is bad. You don't do it for the pay. You do it for the experience. Obviously, getting to go to Disney and to spend your time at Disney World is pretty amazing. But at the same time, too, you're doing it also to build those connections, to build those friendships also. And so the fact that it's being cut short and they're being told go home, I'm hoping that the friendships have been formed between various peoples who are also from other countries too, because it would be amazing if Disney's not going to step up and say, hey, if you're from another country, you can stay here for as long as you need to until you're able to figure out a flight plan or anything like that. if maybe their American counterparts can say, oh, since we're friends now, please come stay with us while you try to figure this stuff out. I'm assuming that's probably what's going to end up happening because an 18-year-old or 19-year-old seem to have more heart than a giant corporation does these days. But yeah, as I said, I will continue to call out Disney for crap like this because they consistently do crap like this, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate it. Jumping back over to the YouTube chats, Alex McCarthy, member Alex McCarthy says, howdy, Odin. How's it going? Long time no see. Alex, I see you every day, I feel. I feel like I see you every single day. Tina says, the world is crazier than usual. It's always been insane. This is true. It has always been insane, but I think all of us can agree that it's been a little bit of an uptick because of recent events. Laura, Ryan stole my fanfic story. Hello, good sir, and chat. Why are you speaking from both your channels today? Just choose one. Oh, man. Let us see here. All right, chat jumped on me as per usual, but looks like nothing was skipped. So that's good. Leon, again, shout out to you, good sir. He says, no problem, guys. Awesome. Thank you. Sasha Neons is here. Aiden Vickery is here as well. Rob D is in the chat. Trace Adams, what is going on? Glinzer is in the chat. Gloin the Hobbit is here as well. Laura, Ryan stole my fanfiction story, says, I wish they would release A Quiet Place 2 on pay-per-view. And this is the other thing, too, is that obviously people have been asking the question, are we going to end up seeing certain studios starting to try to possibly release their movies either directly onto video on demand or doing something else? You're kind of seeing that already from Disney. Disney has already released Frozen 2 tomorrow will be released on Disney+, and that's about 3 months earlier than they were planning on having that film release. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker was released a few days earlier than its initial release date on digital. It's not available on Disney+ yet, but something tells me that perhaps might change. If it doesn't change, it'll make me ask the question, I wonder if it's because you need to make your money back on that movie, because we really don't know how much you spent on marketing, right? Based on what we know, it seems very likely that you made your money back on the $1 billion plus film that you made. But at the end of the day, too, we don't know how much you actually spent on marketing either. You probably spent more than the standard, we can imagine. So it'll be interesting to see whether they do that or not. But yeah, I agree. I would love for A Quiet Place 2 to be released on demand because I would love to be able to watch it. I would pay, $5-10? Even though, I mean, obviously I have a pass that allows me to go to movies, but I wouldn't mind getting to see that early from, the safety of my home. And I think that a lot of studios could end up making some pretty good financial choices from that, right? And I wouldn't say that it was bad form on their part because they need to make their money back. And I would say, yeah, go ahead and release it on digital. And then when you do finally have the green light to release your films back in theaters, release it, because you might actually end up getting a lot of money from that as well. And also, any money you make from streaming, you get almost 100% of those profits, especially if you're coming to like Disney, where you own your own streaming service. For other companies that own these other, either own another streaming service themselves, HBO Max obviously is one. Warner Brothers has a stake in, and that will be released sometime in May. Maybe you see HBO Max, right? If this is set to go on for another 4 weeks, what if HBO Max decides, hey, we're going to go ahead and release now, and we're going to offer a discounted rate? They could make bank off of that decision. So that's something that I'm going to be watching, is how many movies possibly get released on the digital formats, how many new streaming services possibly either pop up out of the blue or just get greenlit much faster or get pushed up in their release. Because if HBO Max came out, I'm going to be honest, I'd probably end up getting it because they're going to have a lot of content on there. And when you have the entire Warner Brothers Plus library of films to be able to put on there, talk about endless time and endless entertainment. One of the many reasons why I'm trying to start to digitize my entire media library, because then with Plex, I basically have my own version of Netflix that will never change and will never go away. Bruce in the chat says, raining cats and dogs, people living together. I know, right? Isn't it crazy? Isn't it absolutely insane? Oh, man, oh, man. Super Anime Gamer says, heyo, how are you this evening? Super, I'm doing just fine. Tina says, how hilarious will it be if Sonic ends up the biggest hit of 2020? Yeah, and at this rate, it would be. At this rate, it's, I think, one of the highest grossing films of the year. But the problem with that would be, if Sonic is one of the highest hits of 2020, that would mean Birds of Prey might also be on that list too, even though it hasn't really made all that much money. So, Glowing the Hobbit says, faith-based film made the most money this weekend. God making a comeback. No, I think it's because that film is going to be geared more towards people of faith, also more towards, I would say, adults rather than kids. So that actually just makes a lot more sense to me. Onward was set to make first place again this weekend. I don't think that's going to end up happening. Unless they had a really successful early morning today, I don't know if that's going to happen. So we'll have to wait and see what the numbers are tomorrow. But Onward could end up falling out of the number one spot because people are keeping their kids home from the theaters, which when you think about it and what we know about CV, it's only impacting really the elderly. It's not really having a huge negative impact on the youth, at least from what we can tell so far. All right, jumping back over to D-Live. What is going on, D-Live people? Phonemo says, postponing Mulan won't help its box office. It will still fail. Probably. Because, again, they were trying to go for that China box office, and you already have people in Hong Kong that are pissed off because the lead star, the actress playing Mulan, has spoken out in support of the cops and the abuse that the cops were, remember, these are the same cops, the Hong Kong police, I think, or the China-backed police. They were the ones that were basically trying to shut down some of the protests and were using excessive force and things like that. She was on their side. So you had a huge campaign in Hong Kong of hashtag boycott Mulan. So it's kind of already going to be hard to really make a lot of money, at least in the Hong Kong area. Maybe the other areas will be fine. But yeah, and also I don't think that their marketing campaign is helping them in any other market so far. So it'll be interesting to find out where they can go. Phonemo says, the DC movies can't catch a break, can they? No, they cannot. However, it's not nearly as sad as the tragedy of the New Mutants. The New Mutants was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, and it's been delayed again because of CV. I don't think New Mutants is ever going to come out at this point. At this rate, I just cannot see it being released. And there's a joke that's been said multiple times now that by the time that movie comes out, you might as well call it The Old Mutants. And you know what? Whoever came up with that joke first, kudos to you, because it is so freaking true. Captain High says, so since the rest of March and April have basically been canceled, the next holiday is Cinco de Mayo, sponsored by, let's see, Beats Bull Mike. Thank you for the lemon donation. Anthony the Bon, or the Bane. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. And yes, I do indeed stream to YouTube and also D-Live simultaneously. And then let's see. Phonemo says, who wants to see New Mutants now that it's rated PG-13? Great question. And you know what? That's another movie where even with this delay, someone was saying on Twitter, hey, you know what? Maybe they should just release that to video, just video on demand. And you know what? I think they'd make more money if they release that thing digitally than if they release it in theaters, because in theaters they have to split it 60-40 with the theater with the major theater chains with AMC and Regal. At least if they release it digitally, they might be able to get more back on their investment. Let's see. Riff Magos, thank you very much for donating via Streamlabs. The $5 donation says, with every donation which comes your way, Kathleen Palpatine goes away. You are the man, Odin. Well, Riff Magos, thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it. You're awesome. Soul Assassin, back over to the YouTube, says, it's crazy nowadays. I went to the store this morning to pick up some medicine, and there were lines of people waiting to toilet paper, which doesn't make any damn sense, right? I went the other day to the store to get some just basic things that I normally would be getting, buying a couple of things in bulk just to have food available if we have to, stay inside for a longer period of time. And we happen to need a regular portion of toilet paper. It doesn't make any damn sense as to why everyone is stocking up on toilet paper. It doesn't make any sense. That's the maddest part of all of this, it seems, is that there are people out there that are just so obsessed. And it's like, you don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about our water supplies getting damaged or anything. Like, it's just so ridiculous. We're not going to be locked in our homes for months on end and need endless amounts of toilet paper to take care of our business. Like, get one pack of toilet paper, one regular size thing of toilet paper, and you should be fine. Like, people are hoarding it up, though. It's so freaking ridiculous, man. All right, anyway, Slicer Neon says, not sure what March 2020 did to trigger the usual suspects, but it has been canceled. As always, Duck Fisney. Absolutely Duck Fisney, because they are so freaking ridiculous. Christina Nardone, what's going on? Christina Nardone, that's a new name. Thank you very much for the super chat. For the $5 super chat says, remember the H1N1 virus that happened under Obama? Yeah. Remember SARS? Remember swine flu? Do you remember anyone freaking out about this nearly as much as we are right now? Now, I know that some people can probably bring out some stats and say, okay, well, this number of people, rather this percentage, right? Because sometimes people go and say the raw numbers. I do give some credence where you got to look at percentages more so than the actual raw numbers and raw data. However, I can tell you this right now. We've had things like this previously, and some could have even been worse, and we didn't freak out as much as we are freaking out right now. And the main person to blame for all of this, no, it's not the president. No, it's not the person that first contracted it. It's the media. The media are responsible for this nonsense. It's the media's fault that people are freaking out about this. They're the ones that are ginning up all this anger and frustration and anxiety and driving people insane. And this is one of the many reasons why I always speak out against the mainstream media, because they are the ones that are responsible for this nonsense, and they're the ones that are ticking me off to no end, because all you need to do is say, hey, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Here's the number of cases, but here's what we're doing about it. Instead, it's let's blame this person and this person, and this person said this, and we don't have proof of this yet, but let's talk about this because it's really scary. It's total fear-mongering. It's total fear-mongering, and it's ridiculous, and it's just damn right disgusting is what it is. Let's see. Member Leon says, aren't all movies losing money right now because of CV? As of this weekend, yes. However, what we see is that more adult films, like films that are geared towards teenagers and adult audiences, are not being as negatively hit. So basically the way we figured that out is what were the projections going into this weekend and what are they actually going to be? I think we've seen in normal releases, again, about 15 to 20% less than what they were projected to get, which could be that the projections were wrong, could be CV. So with the adult movies, it's a little bit harder to tell how much that's being impacted, because there are a lot of people that are still going to the theater. It tends to be an older demographic of people, not the vast, not the elderly, but probably people in between their 30s and 50s who are not going to be really negatively impacted by this illness anyway, who just want to go out and have a good time and get out of their house. And so you still have people going to the movies, still have people going to the theater, despite warnings and despite people trying to clamp down on those types of events. However, it is interesting. It is interesting to see how all of this is happening, nonetheless. He also says it ain't just Disney. So no, Disney is not the only company that's going to lose out on money. However, Disney is at this point the studio that has put the most money into the production of their movies that seems to be losing out the most. So of course you look to Mulan. Mulan costs about $200 million to make, meaning it costs $300 million when you add the marketing budget. That film needs to make $500 million to break even. Keep in mind, Onward, as a Pixar film, which usually costs between $150 and $200 million production budget, meaning it needs to make just about the same amount as Mulan, between $400 and $500 million to break even. It has not even reached $100 million yet after 2 weeks. For a Pixar Disney film, that is unheard of. That is very rare that would happen to a release like that. So, no, I agree. I think that a lot of studios are going to be impacted by it, but it is still nonetheless that we are needing to keep in mind that every studio is going to be impacted by it, but Disney more so than anyone else because of how much money they put behind their projects and how little they care about the audiences. Just going to be honest. Hybrid X13 says, you know what? On one side, I want to thank the CV for doing this. I don't have to waste my time on new movies and can spend the time online stream watching other classics I haven't seen. Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think a lot of people are basically going now into, are starting to now go into their streaming services. Again, now is the good time. This is the reason why having physical media collections is an awesome thing to have, right? By the way, I'll be doing a review on the channel for a movie that was just sent, so shout out to Universal, because this is the first film I've actually been sent by the group that I'm now working with, Universal, but 1917, amazing film. This film will be released on to digital and also physical media very soon. It might already be on digital, but I know that physical media, it gets released in about a week or two. So I'll be doing a full review of this with all the special features and stuff. But yeah, this is the reason why having things like Blu-rays and DVDs or even your own media backed up on your own server is so important right now, because when you have nothing else to do, what you gonna do, right? All right, jumping back over to D-Live, since it's a little bit quieter over there. Phonemo says, the only thing I was worried about being sold out was whiskey and cigarettes. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Captain Dean Heiss, thank you very much for the 3 ice cream donations. I appreciate it very much. Anthony over there says, do you do dark humor? I will not do it. You don't do dark humor. It depends on how dark the humor is. It depends on if it's tasteful. Because there's tasteful dark humor that's entertaining, and then there's just people who say they do dark humor, but it's not actually dark humor. So, all right. Anyway, let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Back over to YouTube. Tina says, so what's going to be on Disney Plus? No Falcon, Snowman, fake Captain America, WandaVision, whatever. Oh, wait, Kathleen Kennedy is going to ruin The Mandalorian, so there's that. Yeah, it's amazing because you would think now would be the time for them to release a lot of their films on the service. Now is the perfect time for them to increase and boost their numbers, and they're not taking advantage of it. Oh, we're releasing Frozen too early. Yay! Okay, that might help out in that, younger demographic. But what would be even better is if you said, oh, we're going to release Mulan for a week on Disney+. Talk about the number. I mean, I have no interest in seeing Mulan, but there are a lot of people out there that want to see it who probably don't already have the service. So let's just at least be honest here. I think that Disney could be doing a lot more right now, but they've got a lot of problems. All right, Bruce says, don't these film companies have insurance in case there are issues like this in production? I'm sure they do. However, I don't know for how long. Obviously, you usually think about natural disasters that might happen on set that might, delay them for a period of days, but weeks, maybe even months of delay, that I'm not quite sure of. And also, the way that the movies are made today, especially bigger budget films, you could at the very least say, okay, we're going to do stuff that's not on site, or we're going to do things with a smaller crew. You really can't do that with what's going on right now. HyperNex13, speaking of Robert Pattinson's Batman, did you hear the rumors on Johnny Depp playing Joker? I did. I don't believe it. Grandmaster Yoda says, no, now episode 9 is on digital. Do you think that'll kill the chance to beat Joker? No, because they haven't yet pulled it out. So again, I don't think they have pulled it out of theaters yet. And so because of that, it's still going to be making enough money to be able to possibly pass up Joker. But yeah, even though they're releasing it on digital, it's still in theaters as well. They have not pulled it from all their theaters yet. Jay Stowe says, jumped on me. All right, let's see. Where is Jay Stowe? Sadly, Jay Stowe's comment was skipped. So the chat jumped on me on YouTube. Very sorry indeed. So I'm at 7:15 in the chat on YouTube. It's 7:30 where I am. So I'm about 15 minutes behind on the YouTube chat. And this is the reason why I am not living in the DLive chat, because DLive has much less people over there, and I'm not really that far behind on DLive. So Darth Moral says, good day, Odin. Hollywood isn't the only industry that will potentially go bust. Airline will suffer massively due to CV as flights are being canceled globally. It's a very good point. Cruise ships too. Super Anime Gamer, I was thinking the same thing. With any luck, the kids can find stay together or find a place to rent real quick. Even there, I'm sure if you've got like 5 people, expenses should be okay. But here's the thing, is that they're not getting paid anything from Disney. Their pay already sucked. They weren't doing it for the pay. Do you think an 18 or 19-year-old that's being taken care of with room and board and getting paid minimum, like not minimum wage, but getting paid a very small fee is going to be thinking, I'm saving up all my money in case of emergency? I mean, probably not. So, I mean, I think that they'll take care of each other, but Disney really should step in. Sicer says, I have Frozen 2 available right now, watching 101 Dalmatians Street with my sis, catching theme song, Endgame is up, enough deleted scenes to make it 4 hours. Damn, son. HyperNex13, quoting from mediocre Endgame Thanos, CV response to Disney, what I'm about to do to your stubborn, annoying little monopoly, I'm going to enjoy it very, very much. Yeah, if you're quoting from Endgame, I hated that movie, so I'm not going to be able to have that quote down. Rob D says, if say Black Widow and Eternals only break even, what do you see the future of the MCU? Going more low budget? Perhaps, but it's Disney, so probably not. We'll see how much money they lose this year. Member Alex McCarthy says, of course Gaming with Geese is streaming right now. Of course they are. Well, I already knew they were going to be streaming. They said that they were going to be streaming. And so that was already going to be there. I would be streaming with them if they would have waited until after my stream. I probably wouldn't be able to stream with them because I'd be going to bed. But Gaming with Geese, I love that. Member Leon says, does anyone know what happened to those Game of Thrones writers? D&D. Last time I heard, they had taken that sweet deal with Netflix, and I'm expecting that they're trying to write stories or produce stories. Haven't heard anything about it, though. Oddly silent indeed. Super says, I'm honestly surprised they didn't drop Mulan on Disney+. I mean, they obviously need content and reasons for people to sub. I would give them a massive boost. It would give them a massive boost, I think. Super, you're right. It would give them a massive boost. And again, think about it. Think if they were saying, hey, Mulan is being released for a week on Disney+, for those that are being affected by CB. Like, that would already increase their number of subs, right? It wouldn't make a difference in my life, but there are plenty of people, especially people with families, that would say, oh, let's watch that together as a family. Since now we have a lot more free time, right? It's so ridiculous. Also, 70B says, by the way, HBO is free this weekend, but nothing good is on. Oh, no. We'll see if they try to extend that at any point. Captain Wingster says, Odin, do you like Parks and Rec? I'm currently rewatching it in the office before NBC pulls it off of Netflix. Yes, I did not like either The Office or Parks and Rec. Just not my type of comedy. Aiden Vickery says, that awful film, The Hunt, has a release any day now in the UK. The SJWs will be able to use the virus as an excuse for how bad the film does at the box office. Aiden Vickery, here's the problem with that. Is the film is not clearly, based on what I've been reading and what I've been hearing about it, it's not clearly an SJW movie. I mean, critics are very mixed on it. It's got like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So some critics love it, some critics hate it. And from what I gather, it attacks everybody, which makes sense as to why no one really loves it, because everyone's coming out saying, oh, it attacked me, because it's apparently attacking everyone. But that's also the problem with it too, though, right? Is it doesn't have anything very clear on it. But yeah, it's, again, I don't know if it's bad or not. I hear it's a pretty good thriller. A friend of mine who got to see it actually, for the most part, liked it. Wasn't a fan of the political elements to it, but said the movie overall was a pretty enjoyable experience. But yeah, it's, I think the movie will end up, because I don't know how much it cost to make the movie. It might make its money back, to be perfectly honest, if it didn't cost that much to make. Darth Morrill says, I agree with cinemas closing left and right and center around Europe. Eventually, U.S. Hollywood might have to rely on digital streaming. Yeah, because what happens when that is the next step? When happens when studios can no longer show their movies in theaters? What happens when AMC decides we're shutting our theaters down for a week? I mean, they're going to lose out crap tons of money if they had to do that. But yeah, things that we have to talk about, things that we have to think about, indeed. Anthony, yes, 1917 is an amazing film. Captain Dean Heiss says, missed you last night on Friday Night Tights. I was on there, Captain Dean Heiss, for about an hour. I wasn't on in the very beginning, and I wasn't on the very end. It was also like a 5-hour stream, and I can't do a 5-hour stream. So I would not be on the entire thing anyway. But I was late because my wife finally came back from California last night, so I was spending some time catching up with her, talking with her, and then I jumped on the stream, and then I was on for about an hour, hour and a half, and then I got off. Grandmaster says, can't call Birds of Prey a hit even if it says top 10 when it's a flop. Yeah, that's amazing too, is that, like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have the end will be in sight. I think that things will start to slow down by the time the summer movie season comes along. And once that happens, the box office will pick up, and I don't think there's a chance in hell that Birds of Prey ends up being in the top 5, at the very least in the top 5. Only one film has been delayed by a year so far. All the other films have been delayed either without a release date or have been delayed only a period of months or so. We'll have to wait and see. It'll be interesting to follow it nonetheless. Crazy stuff going on over on D-Live. Mr. Roy, Captain Mr. Roy, you crazy kook you. Thank you for the 1, 2, 3 diamond donations. Thank you very much, good sir. Dropping those diamonds over there. And also, thank you very much for the 7th month sub streak that you are currently on. Thank you, man. You're freaking awesome. Captain Mr. Roy, a legend in the D-Live community. Awesome, dude. Thank you so much. And thank you for being around as a 7th month member. I can't believe I've been on D-Live for that long at this point. It's insane to think about. Let us see. What else we've got? What else? Hardwick says, do you think that there is any truth to the rumors that the release of Black Widow will be pushed back? Probably. I would not be surprised if it happened. Hybrid says, Onward will have sequels, Downward and Upward. Downward will focus on them and the story suffering from the box office. Upward will be like The Dark Knight Rises, coming back from CV. But actually, Hardwick, you know what? You know how they could actually increase their Disney Plus subscriptions by like 10, 100, 1,000-fold? Say we're releasing in a special like early release Black Widow on Disney Plus for a week. That would drive people. There might even be some people here on this channel. I think Bruce is at least one of them, maybe even more, who would say, "Oh, I would give either the free trial or even pay a month for Disney because it's not that much for a month anyway, and to get access to a brand new Marvel Cinematic Universe film." Could you imagine? Now, do I think they're going to do that? No, but if they did, they could increase their numbers by a lot. Super Anime Gamer says, Sonic is obviously better, but I really want Bloodshot to be the #1 movie of the year just for the lulz. It would be amazing. Hashtag Vin Diesel for Best Actor. It's not going to happen. It's not set to make a whole lot of money this weekend anyway. So sadly, that dream will never come to be. I'm sorry. Glinzer says, I won't be surprised if some wise guys go to a public space and start fake coughing, and the media will be partly responsible. Yeah. Yep. And it's going to be really bad. All right, Nathan Slay, let's see. Nathan Slay, what are your thoughts on the ridiculous prices on toilet paper? It's ridiculous. And I know that the whole mindset is supply and demand, but it's toilet paper. I would say it's crazier that people are going out of the way to try and get the damn toilet paper. But yeah, it's just not good. It's just not good. I don't know who you are or what you're trying to say over on DLive, but you're obviously brand new to the channel, so learn the rules, and maybe I'll acknowledge your existence. And that might sound harsh to anyone that's not actually a part of the DLive community, but hey, I don't treat new members well until I know exactly who they are. Anyway, member Alex McCarthy over on YouTube says, I could have sworn that New Mutants was going to be released on Hulu. Again, it could, because Disney technically owns that. Tina says, people are stupid. There, I said it. Context, toilet paper. Yes, they are, Tina. Zine Waters, people are panicking. It's bizarre. We're not going into war. No, we're not. No, we're not. Literally, wash your hands. Don't go into crowded areas if you don't need to be in there. Don't go to work unless you have to. Don't leave your house unless you have to do something important. But that means you can still leave your house, right? We're not locking ourselves up for a long time. Rob D says, did you pick up any movie to pass by the quarantine time? Nothing new. I've got a crap ton of movies right next to me, so there's plenty of things for me to watch. However, Odin has been very lazy this weekend, and very lazy this entire week, really. I've not watched anything, but it's because I've been literally watching all of the I've been watching all the stuff going on. I almost said it, too. I've been watching all the stuff going on with CV. All the stuff going on with CV right now, and so it's just been very distracting. But I just found out today that my school is going to be going into remote learning at least for this week. So I still need to go to school on Monday to get, briefed basically on what's expected of us, how we're going to handle it, things like that. Should be about like a half day or so. And then we're expected to do some remote learning, meaning posting assignments digitally online for our students to work on. We're going to be at least doing that for a week, and there's a potential that it could be longer, but right now the diocese that I'm working under has not made an official decision on anything further. My guess is that if the numbers continue to go up, if we've not reached that peak yet, they'll say we'll go another week. And then until, once the numbers start going down, that is going to be when they'll start to transition us back into the classroom setting. But seeing that a lot of schools across the country are shutting down until the beginning of April, and some possibly even longer than that, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. But that's the beautiful thing about having the internet and having technology, is that even if we can't be in the classroom, we can still get our hours in. I know that I don't know how Tennessee's laws work, but I know there are some states in the U.S. where if you have online education for your high school students, and if you're able to prove that the work that you assign gets completed by, I think the number is 80% of the students who receive it, then it can count as a day of school. So even though you're not in the school, because you're still giving assignments and having them completed, you don't actually lose out on any education time as far as the state goes, as far as the requirements go, which would be amazing, because that means, hey, we don't have to go to summer school, or we don't have to extend our school year by 1, 2, 3 weeks. So it's amazing that we have this technology now, and it's fantastic. HybridX13 says, Thanos, when I'm done, half of all toilet papers will still exist. Dread it, run from it. The CV still arrives. Sorry, my bad, JK. Yeah, that is your bad. That is your bad. Teresa Martin, what's going on, Teresa Martin? I see you waving in there. All right, jump over to D-Live. Captain Dean Heiss says, I feel like the world actually did end in 2012 when the Mayan calendar ended, and we're just living in some giant being's elaborate reboot. Damn, son. Like we're living in the we're living in the Matrix or something. It might seem that way. It certainly might seem that way. That's for damn sure. Nathan Slay over on YouTube says, I really hope this freaking out of CV stops soon. I'm in the play West Side Story at the end of April and hope it doesn't get canceled. Nathan Slay, man, I feel for you. I used to do theater in high school, and trust me, I loved it. And the last thing I would want is stuff to get canceled. Right now, our school is doing a production of High School Musical, and I know that basically what we've been told. So even though school is going to be remote learning for this week, and that's the only thing that's been confirmed for right now, all extracurricular activities and all after-school activities have been canceled through April 13th. So that kind of stuff's been canceled. That means rehearsals can't go on during that time period. So I know that the play is going to at the very least be delayed. But yeah, that'd be awful. You know, I know the amount of work that it goes, you know, imagine being a student having to worry about your grades, but then also memorizing scripts, memorizing music and songs and all this other stuff. And then you're told all that hard work that you've already put in, you can't actually complete. I know it's going to be harsh, and I know it's going to be hard. I remember when Hurricane Katrina hit us in New Orleans. I was a junior in high school, and we were currently doing auditions. So it actually hit us at a time before we had actually started doing the show. Hit us during auditions, and the show ended up being canceled because obviously Katrina, you know, at my high school, we had about 10 feet of water in our high school for Katrina. I was one of the lucky ones. I had a family that was able to, you know, basically pack up and leave, and we were able to find a school in Houston that our high school was actually working with, and we actually were taught by our teachers from our high school who went to Houston, and we actually had night school from 3:30 in the evening till 9 o'clock at night, and it was a weird schedule. It was Sunday through Thursday was our school week, 3:30 to 9. It was actually a great schedule for me. I actually did very well under that schedule because you got to sleep in, and even after you slept in, you still had time to do your homework and everything. But yeah, it's really crazy what's going on with everything. But I really hope that your show goes on, man, because trust me, as someone that is a musical theater person like I am, I know that sucks. Hardwick says, regarding his portrayal of the Fab G, Billy Porter said, I think that this new generation is really ready. The kids are ready, you know. It's the grown-ups that are slowing stuff down. And you know what? I would say to Billy Porter, shut up. That's what I would say, is shut up. Stop trying to push your identity nonsense onto people. It's not that, oh, the adults aren't ready for it. No, you just have a mental problem and you need to get help. That's what it comes down to. And Hardwick, I know you asked a lot of questions about that. Could you just not mention that movie anymore? I've already made it very clear how I feel about that, and you've been here for when I've been talking about that. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Tina says, the local media would report on murder scenes I worked, and I didn't even recognize my own scene after they put their twist on it. This isn't freedom of speech. No, it's not. That's a twisting of the facts, and it's so ridiculous. Mikey Woods, what's going on, Mikey Woods? I hope you're enjoying your conversations. Tina says, or freedom of the press. You're right, it's not. That does not mean they have the right to just twist the words of every person and everything. Bruce says, one thing that will happen from this reaction is it will pass faster and not be as bad as it could. And yes, the media to blame for the overreaction hysteria. And I'm praying, I really am praying that this is the kind of thing that people need to wake up and say, I'm shutting off CNN, I'm shutting off MSNBC, I'm shutting off CBS, I'm shutting off NBC, I'm shutting off Fox News, I'm shutting off all of this nonsense because it's just nonstop wall-to-wall coverage, and all of it's politically motivated. Whether it's on the right or left, it's all politically motivated. Mostly it's from the left, but obviously when you talk about Fox News, there are some things that are from the right too. And that's not what news is supposed to be. News should just be, here's what's happening, not, oh, here's what's happening, but through our ideological lens, so that we can cloud it, so that we can choose our facts, so that we can spin things the way that we want to spin them. Let this be the wake-up call to stop consuming their content, to stop consuming their nonsense. Oh, man. Super Anime Gamer. The only thing that I've seen that's worse than all of the hoarding is the people hoarding, then selling stuff. Yesterday, I found a $70 can of Lysol on eBay. That's messed up. That's extremely messed up. I know that there's someone that just hoarded up on a crap ton of hand sanitizer and is trying to sell it, but luckily the people on Amazon, or I forgot the listing site, they've not allowed it to go through. And I would say it's times like this for eBay and for Amazon and other places that have listings like that to step up and cancel and shut down any person that's trying to sell those type of goods at exorbitant rates, right? If they're selling it at the same cost that it normally would be, or maybe $1 or $2 higher, allow those to continue. But if anyone's trying to price gouge, shut that down, because that's ridiculous. Let's see. Hardwick says, do you plan to watch and review The Hunt? At some point, maybe, just to see it for myself, but I don't really have a desire to. Glinzer says, I got an email from AMC Theaters stating that after selling half the tickets available, they'll call an auditorium sold out. Interesting, Glinzer. Okay. Thank you for letting me know about that, because I've not been getting emails from AMC, even though I'm one of the A-list members. Maybe I have it set up on actually, you know what? I might have it actually set up on a different email that I've not been checking. But that's a good thing to do. I think that's a smart thing for them to do, because it means they can still show movies. They can still have everything available. Because remember, they make most of their money from popcorn, soft drinks, things like that, and not from the actual movie tickets. So that's good on them. I think that's a way of looking forward to say, all right, we can't just shut down because we're not going to be able to really make up the money anywhere else, because this is pretty much our life, is showing movies. But it's also trying to take proactive steps to try and reduce the risk. I'm imagining the email probably mentioned also that they're doing further cleaning measures as well. And having worked for an AMC in the past, I know that was one thing. Whenever things like that happen, like national emergency, even when we had the government shutdown, AMC was stepping up to say, if you're a government employee, you can come to see a movie for free. So, or it was like come and see a movie, get a movie and popcorn, drink, etc. for $5. Like basically offering people very, very reasonable deals. So AMC was one of the companies. They're not perfect, and no company is, but they did a lot of good from the time that I worked with them at the very least. Rob D says, when the 2024 election comes around, the Yuuzhan Vong from Star Wars will show up and drop our moon on top of us. Certainly seems that way, that's for sure. Let's see. Captain Dean High says, when you talk about being a junior when Katrina hit, it makes me feel so old. Yeah, man. I was a junior in high school when Katrina hit back in 2005. Was it? Yeah, it was 2005. I was in middle school when 9/11 hit. So yeah, I'm 31, man. So I'm definitely not on the younger. I'm not on the young side. Not on the old side either. I'm in this like random medium. Like 30s and 40s is somewhere in the middle nowadays. Harwick says, did you see Jeremy's Never Forget video about Hollywood's former love of Harvey Weinstein? Yeah, man. And I've been very active on that on Twitter. Very active about that on Twitter. Mikey Wood says, peace and love, bruv. Hail. Hail to you, good sir. Captain Wingster, that's why I still praise my physical movie and game collections. Yeah, man, because they can't take it away from you. Keep in mind, and Gary's been doing a great job covering this over on Nerdrotic, about how they are going back in time and they are editing old episodes of Doctor Who to take out so-called sexist parts to it, and are even adding things to them. That's what they're doing. And do not be surprised if other studios start to do this, of either never releasing, so Disney, Song of the South, they're never going to release that. Even though there's really nothing wrong with the movie, except it has outdated racial stereotypes, which I think that anyone who's going to have a problem with that, hey, I think that you have at least some argument to, but it's still a good movie. It's still a movie that's not really, it was not made to offend. It was made at a certain time in history. It's a part of history. It's a part of movie history. And it created characters that you're still monetizing on in Splash Mountain. If you've ever been on Splash Mountain at Disney World, the characters from that, Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox, etc., all that comes from Song of the South. But you wouldn't know that because Song of the South has basically been blackballed from Disney. They have not had I don't think they've had any digital release of the movie ever. The last release they had was on a VHS. That's how long it's been since they've done that. But imagine, right? If you own the media, they can't touch it. And notice I said own it. If you own a digital copy of it through something like Movies Anywhere, they can change that copy at any time. They can change it anytime because it's being held on a server, and you have access to that movie because you own it, but they can change whatever movie's in there. They can change and edit things out all they want. But if you own a Blu-ray or a DVD or VHS even. I wouldn't recommend VHS, but hey, to each their own. The quality just not there. But you own it. They cannot touch it. They cannot do anything to it. As I said before, that's the reason why I'm starting to digitize my library, because I love having the Blu-ray version. It's a higher quality, and again, physical media person that I am, love the higher quality stuff. But also, I like having the convenience of, let's say, I'm out and about, or let's say I get stranded somewhere, but I have an internet connection, and I'm connected to my server. I can access that content at any time. At any time. Let us see here. Hardwick says, have you gotten Midway in yet? I requested a copy, and it was supposed to come in, and it never did. And I think that there was a delay or there was a problem, so I doubt I'm getting it at this point. Sizer says, if the quarantine gets serious like Italy or China, we could have some CV baby booms 9 months later. They're already expecting that. Actually, people in the United States who work in the healthcare industry are already saying that in 6 to 9 months, NICUs, and yeah, it's going to happen already. It is definitely going to happen. Hardwick again says, Disney ought to make a movie about a yard full of cows. It would be called Mulan. Very nice. Captain High says, according to Doomcock, you can't say blackballed anymore. Doesn't surprise me. Everyone's so sensitive nowadays. Mr. P.I. says, Trump tests negative for CV. So no, he didn't catch a cold. Interesting. Okay. Well, there you go. And yet, something tells me the mainstream media is not going to shut up about it. Now the narrative is going to be, oh, he gets a test, but no one else does. All right, that'll be one way they'll try and spin it as, oh, he gets a test, but no one else does. Oh, that's privilege, blah, 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 blah. Or they'll say, well, technically, we don't know how long it could be in the system without it manifesting, so he might still have it. Nothing will ever be good enough for these people, and it's ridiculous. All right. Let's see. Chat is bound to jump on me once again, like it normally does. So hopefully no comments were skipped. I'll let you know if they were. Yes, comments were indeed skipped. I'm at 7:36 in the chat. It's currently 7:54 where I am. So I'm about 20 minutes behind still. It is a jump in chat tonight. How many people we got in here? 116 people. Smash that like button, please, everyone in here. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for being here tonight. And I'm going to try to get to everyone's comments and questions. If your comment was skipped, I am sorry, but I cannot control YouTube's chat constantly jumping like this. All right, Larry, remember, Larry says, a diamond, N diamond, fix your grammar, D-Live. Super Anime Gamer says, oh gosh, Freya was in Cali. Glad she's home safe and hope everyone stays healthy. Agree that the media has fear-mongered CV, but Cali is still intense. It is, and she has to work remotely, I believe, for a week. So for 1 week, she has to work remotely. Obviously, because she was in a very high-risk area, she took every precaution. She's feeling fine, but yeah, she should be okay. But yeah, obviously, if you're going to travel into a higher risk area, it's always going to cause definitely some concerns. Darth Morrill says, it's so funny how none of the shield media are talking about Onward's financial disaster. To ask them to not shield Disney is like asking them not to breathe. Yeah. If this was a film featuring something that they hated, they would be talking about it nonstop. They would be saying, oh, this film's so bad. But based on the fact that the film had about a 73% drop from Friday to Friday and is now expected to have in the 60s, upper 60% drop from week 1 to week 2, this film might not even make it to 150 million worldwide. And if that happens, remember, it needs to make close to 400 to 500 million worldwide to break even. If it's only making 150, maybe 200 max, it's $300 million in the hole. It could be that bad. I would predict between $150 and $250 million loss for Onward. It's not going to be good. Of course, I would have a more accurate number if Disney finally released their production budget for the film. Right now, it's a guessing game, and I hate guessing games. Bruce says, Black Widow wouldn't even do it for me. Really, Bruce? Wow, okay. Bruce is someone that's been very excited about Black Widow's release. He would not get Disney Plus if they released it early on there. That's interesting. Member Larry says, coughing instead of yelling fire. Yeah. One could definitely, if you cause chaos. remember that freedom of speech is not something that is unlimited in our country, right? If your speech causes harm to another person, like yelling fire in a crowded movie theater or yelling bomb on an airplane, causing chaos, causing insanity, then at that point you can be prosecuted because you are trying to hurt people. If you're like a politician and you say you have to do this, like everyone kill this person or attack this person, that's inciting violence. That is not protected under free speech law. But yeah, Larry, you're right. Let's see. Tina says, Saberspark did a review of the Asylum mockbuster Homeward. Yes, it's a ripoff, and I think it released before Onward. I've actually never heard of that before. That's interesting. That is very interesting. All right, people. So this was the time when I said I've been lazy this holiday. So HyperNext13 says, Lazy Odin. Glinzer said, Odin's lazy blog. Yeah, pretty much. Member Larry says, I have to earn money outside the domicile. Normally I do too, but luckily we have the ability to do that type of remote access nowadays. Member Alex Bradley says, who needs toilet paper when we have the 3 seashells Demolition Man? Never seen Demolition Man. I know. What a surprise. Greta, what's going on, Greta? I hope that you're doing fine. I know Louisiana is a very scary place to be right now because of, I think they're taking very good proactive measures, but almost the entire state is pretty much shutting down at this point. But Greta says, has your school closed as well? All the schools in LA are closed for 30 days. So again, proactive measures being done in Louisiana. Yeah, they're going to remote learning too. My old school, I know a teacher that I'm still in contact with has also confirmed that the private schools are doing it as well. And so they're going to be going into remote learning as well. And yeah, to be honest, it's one of those things where I always try and find the good in the bad situations. And I think that one thing we can say is that we're now having to learn, because it's the first time that I'm ever going to have to do something like this, we're now having to learn how to use our technology in a productive and fruitful way. And so as a teacher, learning how to do this means if anything worse happens or similar happens, we'll be ready for it in the future. This is almost, you could think of it as this next week being training for me for how to prepare for an event that could end up leading to this in the future. Like, let's say, worst case scenario, something really bad happens at our school and we have to shut down for an extended period of time. We now have the ability and the technology and the access to be able to not shut down completely. So again, always try to look on the bright side. There's a song from Monty Python, always look on the bright side of life. Again, sure some Monty Python fans will appreciate that reference. Member Alex McCarthy says, I thought remote learning was when a boomer stares at his television remote for an hour. Man, that's harsh. That is very harsh. Don't talk about Gary that way, okay? He is a beautiful man, all right? He might be a boomer in his heart, but he's a beautiful man. How dare you? How dare you do that? How dare you? Bruce says, I did our regular shopping the other day, kept the wife home due to a bad immune system. It was the craziest shopping experience I've had. Yeah, same thing. Same thing going on right now for me. I did the same thing the other day, and it was insane. It was so insane. Super Anime Gamer, that's where I'm at. Presently, my school has just decided to extend my spring break and are undecided on online learning. I'm psyched about my week, though. Comic books and blogging. Awesome, super. Yeah, there's a lot of schools that, and that's what I thought we were doing too. We were told, and this was just because we didn't know what was going to happen, because anything the diocese tells us to do is what we got to do. So we were told, hey, if we're off for a week, most likely not going to do remote learning. Most likely we'll just let that be an extra week off since we have the days to spare. But the diocese decided, no, we're going to keep those days in our back pocket in case things get really bad and we can't do this in the future. So let's go ahead and just go straight into remote learning. So technically the students get an extra day of vacation. And then the remote learning should start on Tuesday. But yeah, which is tough for me because we were in the process of watching a movie in class. We were watching The Passion of Christ in class. And I mean, I know there's ways that I could have them be able to watch the movie, but none of them are very good. So we'll have to see what I can do about that. At the very least, we can just go into the next lesson that I plan anyway, and then just say, okay, we'll finish the movie when we get back. It's crazy. Brad Beer Hunter. Brad, what's going on, bro? Over on DLav says, pimp my new eBay page, $5,000, but wipe. Oh, damn. Wow. That's you saying something, Brad. How dare you? Of course you would, you troll. Also, Captain Dean High says, schools in Ohio are closed for 3 weeks. Yeah, so that's why I think that here in Tennessee, even though we only have one official week of remote learning, I would not be surprised if it turns into at least 2, max 4. I can't say it's going past 4. I imagine that in the next 4 weeks, cases are going to start to diminish, most likely. I think over the next 4 weeks, we'll have reached that plateau and started to decrease. That's my hope. That's my prayer. Obviously, we'll find out in 4 weeks where we'll be, but that's what I imagine will happen. Let's see. Mr. Peabody says, yelling may be free speech, but coughing could be considered assault. Yeah, depending on what you're doing. Like, I would say, so I'm sure everyone at this point has seen that idiot. I don't even know his name because I don't follow the NBA, but that stupid NBA player that was laughing about CV, was mocking it at a press conference, and then when he left, proceeded to touch everything outside. He was touching the microphone, all the pages, like on purpose. And then supposedly the report is that when he got back to the locker room, he was touching everyone's stuff. He tested positive for CV. And another player on his team got it too. So this dude, through his idiocy, may have been the cause of someone else getting it. That, in my opinion, if it can be proven, is easily a suable offense. And yeah, I think you're right, Peabody. I think that if you are sick and you deliberately cough on another person and get them sick, yes, absolutely. Now, if they don't get sick, it might be harder to prove your case, again, depending on what kind of evidence you have. But if you get someone else sick, yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, that would be criminal activity. And that's also just ridiculous, too, for anyone. But also, there are people out there that would do it. It's sick and disgusting, but there are people out there that would do it. All right, let's see. Hardwick says, I figured out how the 3 seashells work. The shells are decorative knobs. Shell 1 controls the strength of a bidet. Shell 2 controls temperature. And Shell 3 controls a warm air dryer. Hey, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to go into much more detail, but bidets are awesome. Just going to say. Just going to say it. Greta says, I was going to go to a play last night that an old friend was in, and it was canceled an hour before the show. Oh, damn. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. Glowing the Hobbit says, happy birthday, Albert Einstein. Is it really Albert Einstein's birthday? Happy birthday, Albert. Happy birthday, Al. Hybrid X13, I'm guessing Dune will get postponed to bit tricky since it releases at the end of the year. Depends on where they are in production. If they're in post-production right now, they might be okay. But if they're still filming, if they're still doing principal or secondary photography on the film, then it could be delayed. Really depends on where they are in the process. I don't know. In fact, let me go ahead. So IMDb sometimes has this information up to date, but obviously this is just recording. This is just recording to IMDb at this point. It says it's in post-production. So according to IMDb, it is in post-production. It is still set for a December 18th release. If it's in post-production, what that means is that all the principal photography is done. So most of what's going on right now is editing, rendering of effects. You might also have some secondary. So you know how sometimes in the credits you see like second unit. Sometimes those are lesser, smaller scenes that are being shot. So yeah, if they're still doing that, if they're still filming stuff, not principal stuff, but you know, with the main actors and main scenes, then you could be seeing a delay. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Bruce says, a guy with a garage full of hand sanitizer can't sell it due to Amazon blocking selling due to price gouging. People are going to his home to buy it. That's ridiculous that people are actually going to his house to buy it. If it was me, I would report him. And I think that in certain states, you can be arrested for price gouging. So yeah, I think that he's going to end up regretting that decision. If I had to take a guess. Greta says, I got the AMC email too. Okay, Greta, cool. Yeah, so I think it's set up to my old email address, and I've recently updated my phone, and it's no longer attached to it. So I'm gonna have to look that up in my old email, my old Yahoo account. Hardwick says, the script for The Hunt does satirize both the left and right, but comes across more harsh towards the right towards the end, in my opinion. Yeah, and again, whether that's the actual film that we ended up getting or not, It'll be interesting to see. Member Larry says, theater is closed, but parking lot has a car show. Oh, car shows. You can't stop the car shows, right? All right, jumping over to D-Live. Mr. Peabody says, when I went to university, I had to write fast and take a lot of notes. For years, students just take laptops and point them at the lecturer and push record. Yeah, that's pretty much all you have to do now. And that's what one of the great things about doing the remote learning for me is that since I know how to use technology, and a lot of my students know that I do YouTube. And so I told them too, because a lot of them were, they're students, they're teenagers. They don't understand what they're saying, but they're like, oh man, I hope we get closed for 2 weeks, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you do realize if we get closed for 2 weeks, that means a lot of people are going to get hurt. A lot of people are going to be dying, not something to play lightly of. And then I also was like, by the way, also keep in mind that if we go into remote learning, you have a teacher, at least one, that is internet and tech savvy. And I will have you be doing work. And I do plan to try and help out all of my fellow teachers to the very best of my ability. And at that point, they're like, oh, come on. And I'm like, no, all right. Again, this is something very, very serious. All right. And yeah, guess what? You'll have all the time in the world. You can sleep in. You can pace yourself. Learn about time management, which guess what? Good luck in college, because if you can't manage your time, it doesn't matter if you have extra, hours and hours of extra time. If you don't use it wisely, and guess what? A lot of the students this week, not going to use their time wisely. I'm already predicting it, even though I'm going to try and give them assignments that basically forces them to do work. But we'll have to wait and see. G-Monkey says, Odin's a youngling. I'm not that young. Come on. Nathan Slay, what people should be doing during this time? Washing their hands, staying home if they're sick. What people are doing instead? It's the end of the world. Cancel everything. Yeah. You're exactly right. And the cancel everything, I think, is indeed it's a part of mitigation, trying to stop the further spread. So canceling major events, NBA, MLB, things like that, that to me makes sense, right? That to me, I think, is a good measure for them to be doing. But yeah, people are freaking out about it. And I think that you're right. We should instead monitor ourselves, make sure that we're healthy and feeling okay. If we're not, go to a doctor, get tested if we need to. And yeah, wash our hands. That's the big thing. Wash your hands. It's amazing how everyone's like, oh, I never understood how that worked until now. Let's see. Glinzer says, what you said is being done to Doctor Who is straight up Ministry of Truth stuff from Orwell's 1984 ARG. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like 1984. And it's insane. Bruce says, right after the president called for a national emergency, MSNBC said it was 2 months too late. Of course they did. Even though 2 months ago, they were mocking him for closing down travel abroad to certain countries. They were like, that's racist. Oh, really? It's never good enough. He also says, but if he had done it then, he would have been called overreacting. Plus, think of how unknown was all this 2 months ago. Exactly. And, were things done perfectly? No. Guess what? Because nothing is ever going to be done perfectly. Nothing's ever going to be done perfectly. The person that I'm listening to during all these press conferences, everything, is the doctors, right? Like, there's one doctor specifically, I think his name is Fauci. Awesome dude, like literally blunt, straightforward. And he, to me, is the reason why I'm really not that concerned. Because he's like, there's no reason to panic. Take it seriously, but there's no reason to freak out. Like, this is what we know. Here are the facts. Here's what you need to do. And it's all very straightforward stuff. He's very, very calm. It also honestly makes me wonder. It's like, maybe you, Dr. Fauci, should be running the country right now. In fact, you know what? Let's enlist emergency measures and say, okay, Dr. Fauci, now you have to run the country. Or at the very least, you're the one that gets to do all the speeches. See, Harwick says, are the new Blu-rays of the Tom Baker years of Doctor Who censored? I don't know. I'm not the person to ask about that. 70B says, you said blackballed. Super says, wait, the BBC is editing old Who? I'm so glad they're being forced over to a subscription model. Thanks, Boris. R.I.P. BBC. Yeah. That's the report from Gary, Nerdrotic. So I take his word because he's good people. Member Nitrium says, Hail Odin. Thank you very much. And member Nano Reaper says, don't forget Laserdisc. That's right, Laserdisc. I don't own a single Laserdisc. I actually heard that it was a pretty, for the time especially, very good quality stuff. And Betamax, Nano Reaper reminds me of. I never had Betamax either. Less about the quality there. Forever Sci-Fi, I've bought old Top Gear episodes on Amazon. When they were having a dispute, I couldn't access those even though I bought them. Wow. Yep, exactly right. As I said, Forever Sci-Fi. That's the reason why. Getting your own actual collection, they can't touch it once you have it. Grandmaster Yoda, CV baby have already happened in both Spain and in Norway have joined the shutdown. Damn, yeah. By the way, are you trying to tell us something about your own life going on? Saying it's already happened? Oh, really? Do tell. All righty, let's see here. Nathan Slay, the Doctor Who editing thing reminds me of Disney removing a controversial blooper from the Toy Story. Yes, from Toy Story 2, that's right. The kind of the casting couch going on at the end of Toy Story 2. The one where Stinky Pete is talking to the Barbie dolls and he's clearly into them. Yep. Yes, indeed. Can't have that anymore, though, right? But if you own an older edition, and guess what? The editions that I have, I don't. They're still packed away. I forgot. But anyway, I have the entire trilogy. That's right. There's only 3 of them. That's what I believe. There's only 3 Toy Stories. The third one was the last one. And so I haven't seen it, but seeing that I bought that thing, a few years ago now at this point, like 3 or 4 years ago, I imagine I've got the same ending without it being cut. Jace Doe, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day, my oh my, what a wonderful day. And then goes on, to these bad companies want to erase you from seeing what they deem bad history. How will generations learn? Exactly. Same thing was happening down in New Orleans. There was this whole dispute over statues. And my mindset was, leave them up. Let them be an educational tool that this is what our culture used to be like. These are the people that we used to admire. Instead, it was, let's tear them down, tear them down, tear them down. It's ridiculous. Member Nana Reaper says, just remember when you run out of toilet paper, take some from the mainstream media that is causing this panic. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Super Anime Gamer. It really is crazy. It's like these people don't think we're capable of thinking and rationalizing ourselves. Like Song of the South won't brainwash us. We know what's bad. Dingus. Yeah, you're right. Like we have a mind. We know what's good and what's bad, right? Let us decide that for ourselves too. Let us decide that for ourselves. And also remember, Song of the South, actually watch it. The main thing comes down to the fact that the lead actor, who's played by an African-American man, speaks in a certain style that actually would have been accurate for a person at that time in history that it's supposed to take place in, because it's supposed to take place during the time of Reconstruction. Guess what? That's how many of the African-American community would have talked at that time, because they were disproportionately not allowed to get proper education. Again, not a good thing. Right? And guess what? That's a conversation that we can have is, you want to know why? Like, the kids, imagine the kids saying, why does he talk like that? He talks funny. Oh, let me tell you why. Let's educate now. Let's use this as an education moment. Instead, they're ripping that away. And obviously they own the movie. They can do whatever they want, but that's the reason why I'm telling you, if someone can behind the scenes get access to one of those prints, right? If someone can find a 35 or I guess it would be 35 millimeter print of that film and do a scan of it, ooh man, that'd be awesome. Now, I don't think there's a high demand for that movie. Like, for example, with Star Wars, I'm thinking of what they did for Star Wars, and there's the fan communities that are giving us the original versions of the film, Project 4K 77, 4K 80. They basically are doing 4K scans of original 35 millimeter prints before George Lucas did all those edits, and they're cleaning it up, and it's looking so good. I have a couple of versions myself, actually, and they're awesome. You also have the Harmonies to Specialized Edition, too, that did it in a different way, but very similar process of making things look the way that they originally were. But imagine if someone was able to do that with some of these films that are being, shut out. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Hypernex 13. Speaking in context of editing stuff out of movies, Harvey Weinstein once wanted to meddle with Princess Mononoke. Hayao Miyazaki then sent a katana with the words saying, "No cuts." Wow. Dude, Miyazaki. Legend. What a legend. Neon, strong argument to the shorts on Disney Plus. Smash and Grab, Kit Bull, and Cycles are great. Everyone who can should watch. Usually the shorts are pretty good. Nathan Slay, why is Disney so beloved even now that people will go out of their way to defend it? It's a very good point. Hardwick, have you ever watched Song of the South? There are some good quality HD versions if you know where to look. I've never seen the entire thing all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of it because obviously I think the whole thing is on YouTube in some form or fashion, or at least clips of it are. People do sell the DVD of it. So I don't know if anyone has an actual legit HD version or if it's just the DVD quality. Darth Morrill says, it seems that the British government is the only government not overreacting to CV. They have practically done nothing. The Prime Minister is suggesting people need to catch CV to build immunity. What? Damn. James Hancock. Odin curious. I know they're kids, but do you hear your students ever mention the members of the squad, AOC? Most of the interest to me, Antifa awareness. No, they don't. I'm in a state where a lot of them are being raised, like, just be honest, a lot of them are being raised in Republican households. There's a few students that I can tell, like, either they're being raised in a Democratic household or they're being raised in an independent household or they just have no actual political opinion. But luckily, I'm not hearing people praising those whack jobs. So it's a good thing. Nana Reaper, member Nana Reaper says, so at what point will Disney go to the penny stocks? Super Anime Gamer, right now we're living in a very special circumstance, but if Onward fails as spectacularly as we think, do you think it'll impact the future of Pixar? Probably not, because they already have another film set to come out this year called Soul. I think Soul is going to do much better than Onward did for a wide variety of reasons, but we have to get there first. Captain Wingster, really, Odin? Demolition Man is a 90s movie. That's no excuse. I'm not perfect on the 90s. I'm good on the 90s, but I'm not perfect. Remember Larry says, didn't see a movie, say it ain't so. I know, right? Soul Assassin, you've never seen Demolition Man, possible movie stream? Do it. Yeah, I still need to do the movie stream that I said I was going to do and never did. Now that I'm uploading my video, or now that I'm digitizing my library, there's a bunch of movies from Bruce, especially, who sent me, and I digitized all of his movies first. So I could potentially, because I could just, through Discord. By the way, guys, I found out a way to do movie streams through Discord. So we would have a normal stream like this, probably would be on the Welcome to Asgard channel instead, my secondary channel. And then if you wanted to watch the movie with me, you could jump on the Discord and join there. And if not, then you could listen to my commentary on the regular YouTube stream. Haven't worked out all the details of that. Don't have an official plan on that yet. But again, at least this week, I should have a lot more free time. Because I already have ideas about how I'm going to do my plans for the remote learning. Darth Morrill says, with Sony movies being delayed, then that means movies dated for 2021 will also be pushed back for years past their original release date. Not necessarily. It depends on whether the production going on right now has been delayed. If that's the case, then yes, 2021 release date will probably be pushed back. It's not the movies themselves that are supposed to have been released in 2020 that are going to be a problem, because only a couple of movies, actually only one that I know of, has been pushed back to 2021 officially, and that's Fast 9. And I imagine they chose a weekend that they could actually release in. That's why they didn't get a release in the summer, for instance, right? Why April? Probably because that's one of the only weekends that could actually work to their benefit and work to their favor. Work to their favor to try and make money. But yeah, it's definitely going to cause a lot of chaos behind the scenes, that's for damn sure. Cupcake says, Hola, Odin. This CV is crazy. Stay safe. You too, Cupcake. Hybrid X13. In all seriousness, I do think CV will go away and we'll eventually have a cure like any other disease before. There's always hope. I'm going to say right now, we are going to have it. Again, vaccines don't come overnight. It's going to take at least 6 to 12 months, most likely closer to a year, to develop the actual vaccine. But if we're able to limit it to the point of it being almost non-existent and seeing that, and here's the other thing too, most people that get it are fine. Most people who get it recover. Most people who get it have almost no remaining problems after. Now, does that mean that no one's going to be impacted? No, of course not, right? There are going to be, statistically, a lot of people impacted. But percentage-wise, a vast majority of people who receive it, who have it, they don't have any major problems, all right? So let's just keep ourselves grounded in reality, all right? So the people that are trying to fearmonger, the people that are trying to freak everybody out, again, most people are fine. Just keep that in mind. Really, the only group that is at risk are the elderly, because they have already very lowered immune systems. Anyone that is immunodeficient, of course, would also, but that's for the flu, for any cold, really, any illness. Anyone that's immunodeficient is already going to be at risk for it. For this, though, the only people that seem to be very impacted by it are the elderly, because of having the lowered immune systems already. So if you are young and healthy, or if you have a good immune system, even if you are older, Your chances of surviving and not having any permanent effects are very, very high. All right, so let's keep it positive, right? That's something that you're not going to hear from the mainstream media because they're going to be too busy trying to fearmonger you. We're going to be okay. Things are going to be fine. There's going to be a vaccine at some point. All right? All right. Tina, that's like someone with HIV knowing they have it and yet having relations with a person for a while that was considered assault. Oh, no, absolutely. That's still criminal. That is very much still criminal. Stephanie B says, bid days. Yes, exactly. Bid days. Cupcake says, it's so annoying that A Quiet Place 2 is being delayed. I agree. I was looking forward to that movie. Tina says, today would have been my mom's birthday. I got my love of movies from her, as I've mentioned, so it'll be a good weekend to watch movies on my end. Tina, will happy, blessed birthday for your mother. Praying for her. Thanks for sharing that, Tina. Slicer, Biden didn't even try to be coherent at the town hall. Add in CV and the election might be a wash. Better luck in 2024, Dems. I don't even want to think about that right now, to be honest. Everyone's just being so ridiculous because let's be honest here. Trump's not being that great either. Every time he speaks, he has to talk about how great a job he's doing. No, just tell us the facts. We don't need the pontificating. We don't need Twitter Trump right now. There are certain times where Twitter Trump is hilarious, right? Now is not the time for that. So yeah, both sides have not come out of this unscathed. I would argue. I think both sides have kind of come out scarred. Hypernex 13 RQ. Which movie, in your opinion, did the one-shot montage better, Birdman or 1917? 1917. It was a lot more seamless. It was harder to tell when they cut. The fact that they did one cut when he was jumping, and they showed us, there's a video where you could watch how they filmed it and how they did use CGI to do it. That's awesome. Birdman's, most of their cuts were very clear. Normally, they use darkness to have the cut happen in. 1917, I think, did it a lot more, did a lot better. Let us see here. Mr. Peabody over on DLab says, a question has come up again. Do you have a movie blog? Allegedly. But you can never prove it. Mr. Peabody also says, nothing wrong with VHS. If I take my glasses off, HD looks the same to me. Exactly. And he also says, the Australian Grand Prix was canceled when thousands were at the gates waiting to be let in. Damn, son. Wow. All right, let's see. Hardwick says, George Orwell actually based the Ministry of Truth on the BBC due to his experience working for them. Well, that is hilarious. Wow. So that's that comparison is actually quite on par. That is quite on par indeed. All right, let's see. Where are we? Member Larry says, RIP Doctor Who, and Beta has best quality of videotapes. Videotapes, yes. But again, Laserdisc has the better of those, though. Larry, he goes on. Laserdisc had best quality of home video until DVD came in. And obviously, since then, Blu-ray destroys DVD. Darth Morrill says, for the past 5 years, the BBC has gone down the pan. We have been forced to pay a TV license for a taxpayer-funded organization that hates everything about the UK. That's so ridiculous, man. Yeah, and that's what's sad is that people have been criticizing them for their nonsense, especially with Doctor Who. And their response has been, we don't care. Why should we care? We're guaranteed money. We're guaranteed funding. Even if we have to cut back on effects, we can go on for as long as we want to, as long as the BBC will allow us to. And they're in the same bed politically, so why would they stop it? Soul Assassin, learn from the past so not to repeat their mistakes. SJWs, tear the statues down. Exactly, right? Learn from your mistakes. No, we can't do that. We have to blot out everything. It's the same people that said, we need to take stories like Huck Finn. We need to take stories that have abrasive language and the use of certain terms that are outdated. We need to take those out. No, leave those in. Have your students read that to say, oh my gosh, people talk like this. People actually use this. Not in we're going to use a certain word in a rap song, right? And hear it nonstop for 5 minutes. No, this word actually does mean something, and it does actually have a very negative connotation towards an entire group of people. That's how you teach them. But we can't do that now. We have to wipe away the past. It's so ridiculous. Tina says, I saw an old photo where someone back during the tear down the statue nonsense had spray painted tear this down on the Joan of Arc statue. I can't take that kind of ignorance. Yeah. Yep. That's the kind of stupidity that we deal with. Remember, Larry broadcasts and professionals still use beta tape for certain situations. Really? I didn't know that. Bruce says, Han shot first. Damn right, Bruce. In our editions, it does. Nathan Slay, people are selling a 4-square wipe of toilet paper on Amazon for 99 cents and single squares for $2. That is ridiculous. I can't imagine that'll last on Amazon for much longer. Member Nitrium says, not sure if you already knew this, but Rise of Skywalker is available on Amazon right now streaming. Weird it's not on Disney Plus, or is it? Well, Nitrium, I imagine that you have to pay for it on Amazon. So it's available on demand, so you can purchase it individually right now. So they already announced that they were going to do that a few days earlier than originally. It's not on Disney Plus yet, as of yet. But do not be surprised if they start to add more stuff there soon. Jace Doe says that would be awesome to do with some of the classic cartoons that got severely cut through the years. Fans doing with them like they have been restoring the Star Wars trilogy. I agree, right? If anyone ever finds, old 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter, 8 millimeter copies of things, keep them. You never know when someone might be having the technology to put requests out. That's how they were able to get these 4K transfers, where they were saying, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we want to do. Contact us if you have anything. And people said, oh, I happen to have a 35 millimeter print in almost pristine condition of the original Star Wars. Oh my gosh. Makes the job so much easier. Father Chris Miller, hail to you, Father, says, watching Sons of Katie Elder for the first time. I'm pretty sure Odin has never seen it. Oh, absolutely, I've never seen it. Hybrid says, when I heard you say the Pixar movie Soul, the first thing that popped out of my head was Seoul, South Korea. Father says, you can finally watch I Confess. I know, Father. There's so many movies that I need to watch. Let's see. Remember, Larry, AIDS medicines help mitigate it. Yes. He then says survivors lose 20 to 30 less lung function. It depends. It depends on who they are. Again, there's a lot of people that are not having any permanent effects. Most people are not having any permanent effects. They're having basic flu or cold-like symptoms, and they have a full recovery. Let's see. Mr. Peabody says I'm just going to call it CV, is a cold virus. We've all had them before. No, exactly. It's a strain of the cold. Zine Waters, knowingly infecting others with HIV isn't illegal in California. Of course it's not. Why am I not surprised? That's so disgusting. California just needs to go away. Not the people in California. Just California. Aiden Vickery, our Prime Minister Boris has no need to overreact. The BBC is doing more than enough of that for everybody. Yeah, I agree. Super says, that, and I think people forget the ratio of the infected. The U.S. population is 360 million. We have less than we have 360 million in the U.S. 1,500 have been confirmed cases. It's right to be concerned, but don't totally panic. Exactly. Let's see. Bruce left a comment before things got skipped, like it always does. Bruce says, the one-shot stairway fight in Atomic Blonde was pretty awesome. Never seen Atomic Blonde. I did, but I forgot. I have seen Atomic Blonde, and I forgot all about it. It wasn't a very memorable film for me. Going to Hobbit says, should teachers compulsory live stream or Skype their classroom lessons during disasters? Compulsory live stream? No, but I think that schools should have those things planned out for sure. Absolutely should have those things planned out. And luckily I know how to do that. I know how to get that technology out there. And so I'm ready to record lectures, man. And you know what? That actually is a good way to do it for people that are uncomfortable sitting in front of a computer. Go into your classroom, set up a computer, and then teach it like you would a normal class. Teach it like you would a normal class. Oh, wow. Reed, thank you. Reed, dude, thank you so much, man. Reed, thank you for the $50 donation via Streamlabs. Thank you so much, man. Reed says, always with a quote, the oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. H.P. Lovecraft. Reed then goes on to say, there is information about CV out there that lets you know all about the disease. Information is power. Damn right, Reed. Information is power. Educate yourself. If you're really concerned about this, educate yourself. Do research. Don't just listen to the mindless drones in the media, because they're going to try and spin their webs and politicize it to no end and freak you out and make you terrified. Look up doctors' reports. Look up interviews with doctors. That would probably be the best thing. Look up the interviews with actual doctors, preferably people that have a specialty in this field. Because the more you learn about it, the more you'll be able to call out and say, that's nonsense, that's BS. And even better, the more and more apt you'll be able to tell others, that's not true. That's not true. And you'll be able to educate them. And then because you have that knowledge, Reed, and because you're sharing that knowledge with others, it makes more and more people powerful. The media cannot be trusted during times like this because they want your eyeballs. They want your eyes and ears attached to them nonstop all day. And they'll do anything to do that. They will do anything to do that, including exaggerate the truth or even downright lie. They will do anything. Learn the truth. Thank you, Reed, for that super chat, or rather for that donation via Streamlabs. And thank you once again for very, very wise and always pertinent words. I appreciate that. Let's see. Super Anime Gamer says, speaking of Twitter Trump and actually related to movies, did you see his Spaceballs tweet in response to Mike Bloomberg? I love having a president with me. Or rather, a president who memes. I did not see that one. I did not see that one. No, I have not. Member Larry, thanks, Odin, for seeing my words. Well, since you're a member, and this is something that I should probably put in the... I'll probably actually put this in as the perks because it is a pretty big perk. If you're a member, you don't have to tag my channel name because I'm going to read your question anyway because yours is highlighted green, so it's a good way of distinguishing you from other people. And at this point, I don't have a whole lot of members, and so it's easier for me to point those things out. But it makes it easier on y'all not to have to worry about tagging me. So if I see you tag someone else at the very beginning of your comment, then those I'll skip, but I'll try and read the rest. Let's see. Will Gentry says, that does really upset me. I was the staunchest defender of the TV license for the longest time, but now I just can't defend them with what they're doing, and it makes me sad. It is very sad. And I think that most people would be in this position. In fact, you have a lot of defenders of the most recent Doctor Who now saying, after that last episode especially, and the way that they have reacted, saying, oh, I'm done. I can't put up with that anymore. And I don't blame them. Grandmaster Yoda says, have you seen episode 9's should have ended by how it should have ended? No, I have not. Member Larry, don't pay Disney anything. Yeah, damn right. Let's see. Zynewater says, don't even get me started on Joan of Arc. I wrote a 14-page research essay on just the legality of her trial. Oh, yeah. I mean, the wrongness that was done during that time in history. Just awful. Just awful. Bruce says, to shut the press up, the president took the CV test. He is negative. The press is unhappy. Of course they are. As I said, they're never going to be happy. They are never going to be happy. Because now it's going to be, oh, he should have taken it earlier. Or they'll say even worse, oh, he just wasted a test that could have been used on an actual American, like on an everyday American that can't afford it. They knew that. They were trying to bait him into it. Because either way they win, because that's what they think. It has to be about winning to the press. We have to win this. No, just tell us the truth. Tell us what's going on. Inform us with actual facts and data. Not political nonsense. Jace Stowe, thank you for becoming a member, dude. I appreciate you, Jace. Thank you. Thank you for joining at the Army of Asgard level. Cheers to you, good sir. All right. J-Hand, because I saw your comment, you have to put Odin question, all one word, Odin question, J-Hand, for it to pop up for me to see. He says, the social justicers of the world are taking Star Wars Last Jedi seriously. Let the past die, kill it if you have to. Yes, they are. Exactly right. And guess what? Who wrote that line? Rian Johnson. That makes a lot of sense to me. Over on D-Lab, Mr. Peabody says, probably gonna have to edit the classic movie Dam Busters because the dog's name was the N-word. Oh my goodness. Yeah, probably. Though again, Education. And then he also says Atomic Blonde was easy to forget. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Not to mention completely unrealistic in so many different ways. All right. Chat jumped on me once again, but looks like no comments were skipped. Thank the Lord. Father Christopher says, some people in California need to go away. Yes, some people need to go away. Hypernex 13. Oh, and I have a question on Norse mythology. Are Frigga and Freya the same, or are they different? Also, is Baldur Thor's half-brother? So Frigga and Freya, those are different variations of the same person in the mythology. That I do know. As far as Baldur being Thor's half-brother, that I do not know. I'm not an expert on Norse mythology, despite people thinking I am. There are people that will like join the channel and like will post a comment saying, "Oh, that's so cool. Your name is Odin. How long have you been an Odinite? Or how long have you been this or that?" And it's like, no, I'm a Catholic. I'm a Roman Catholic, man. Odin's just a nickname from when I was in high school. But then the more I think about it, I'm like, you know what? There are some people that might think that I have some type of Norse bloodline or belief system based on the name of the channel. I could see why people might think that. Nathan Slay, the only reason Joe Biden is still the presidential race is because he has hairy legs and they change color in the sun. And the kids, they used to rub up and down on the leg. That whole thing is so ridiculous. Glinzer, there are certain books I wanted to see movies of, foremost the Chronicles of Pern, but the way Hollywood is now, forget it. I've never heard of that. Member Larry says, become members here. Hit that join button. Thank you, member Larry. I appreciate it very much, man. Yeah, that join button. Click on it. And there are different categories, and they offer different things. Access to various things. Let's see. Pin drop. I see what you did there. I'm the new Odin. Hi. Name will be deleted. I will not speak that name on this channel because they are insane and they need help. 70B says, Odin question is how you can get his attention. Thank you, 70B. That's how you do it. Member Harry Plopper says, no more tagging. Boom, member Harry Plopper. You got it. Member Nitrium is talking to someone else. Let's see. Super Anime Gamer had a comment saying, exactly, it's like Rachel Maddow's criticism of the most recent speech. She was like, he's not doing enough at home. Dude, he just got off travels to Eurasia, to Eurasia, the hub of the disease. Exactly. But we can't talk about that. Everything has to be politicized. Member Jace Doe, the beard is Norse. Yes. Okay. I will admit that much. The beard definitely is more so on the Norse side, Jace. You're exactly right on that. You're exactly right. Touche. Touche, good sir. Slice of Neons, Atomic Redhead would have been much more memorable. Yes, most likely. Member Harry Plopper says, commercials and trailers before the film are out of control. Yeah, 20 minutes is a bit much. 20 minutes is a bit much for a movie, having to wait that long before the movie actually starts. I would agree. It would be nice to see some variation there. Like if you could for example, what if they had screenings of movies in like the very small theaters where if you pay like an extra $1, you get no trailers. Some people might actually pay that extra $1. I actually love trailers. So I don't agree with the overall sentiment because I actually do love trailers. But also, member Alex McCarthy is showing that there's also a variety of images that you can post as a member as well, including my dog River in the snow. One about someone saying, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. One of me doing Blue Steel, which is quite fantastic and amazing. One of me tossing a Captain Marvel Blu-ray. One of a character from a film saying, okay. And another of me dancing. Sadly, the images that are supposed to move aren't moving in YouTube because YouTube sucks. So I might have to change those out with different images that are funnier and better. But we'll see. Forever Sci-Fi. Thank you very much, dude. Thanks for becoming a member at the of the Citizen of Asgard level. And boom, you got a puppy. Look at that puppy. Oh, look at her. She's so cute. That's my dog, River. She's a sweetie. And that pops up every time anyone becomes a member. All right. Thank you very much, good sir. Grandmaster Yoda says, can you explain the membership of your channel? Basically, it's like Patreon or Subscribestar, but for YouTube specifically. So you can join at different tiers and different levels. The main ones are at level 1, which I think is $1 a month. You just get your name. You get a badge next to your name. Your name becomes green. So I'm something that I'm going to add to the language, and this is something that I've been doing already, but I don't think people have been recognizing it, is that you don't have to tag my channel name. So I'll just see your name in green and I'll know, okay, that's a member. I'll read their comment and they don't have to tag me in it. So that saves some people on the work that they have to do. Member Aiden Vickery. Boom. Thank you very much, man. There's the puppy. Look at the puppy. Look at the cute little puppy. Thank you, man, for joining. I appreciate it. He has joined at the Army of Asgard level. Thank you very much, Aiden Vickery. I appreciate that, man. But basically, if you want more details about the members and the memberships and the levels, each one, if you click on the join button, it'll break down what you get at the different levels. The big one for me is if you join at the $9.99 level, like the $10 level, you get access to a bi-weekly podcast every 2 weeks. Me and John Flickinger of the Flick Pick channel, we do a podcast together, and so that you get access to as well in its video format. Let's see. Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father. Thank you, Father. You got to see the puppy. You got to see the puppy, too. Thank you very much for joining at the Citizen of Asgard level. I appreciate it, man. We're going crazy tonight with memberships. This is the most memberships in a single stream I've ever gotten. So thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. Let's see. Bruce says, Biden smelling kids, creep factor 100%. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. Pin drop, I'm getting married tomorrow. Can y'all pray for me, please, in a good way? Yes, pin drop, absolutely. I will be saying my prayers for you tonight. Good luck to you, good sir. It's going to be a very special day for you and for your wife. So, again, good luck to you. Praying for you. God bless. Godspeed. Member Alex McCarthy says, watching Frozen 2. Okay. Of course you are, Alex. Of course you're watching Frozen 2. Well, I saw it already. I saw it in theaters. I didn't pay for it. A family member did because my little niece wanted to go see it. I can't really... when you have a little niece and, it's just not my kid, so I can't really, if it's my kid, I can say, we're not going to this movie because, and then I'll explain my reasoning. But someone else's kid, don't have that same power and same authority without getting a lot of people seriously mad at me. Got to pick your battle sometimes. Alrighty, let's see. And I'm sure some of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, man. Let's just see. Where are we? Member Nitrium says, apparently there has never been a widely successful, highly effective vaccine for CV. It is a notoriously hard virus to make an effective vaccine for. Well, here's the thing, though, is that this is a specific strand of that virus. And so we will be able to find a way of stopping this one in the future, this specific strand. Now, it's going to mutate again, and eventually we're going to have a strand similar to this one that's going to be harder also to control. So, yeah, you're right about that. But this strand specifically, we will be able to cure, create a vaccine for, is a better term for it in the future. Bruce says, these negative comments about Atomic Blonde is making me very uncomfortable. I need a safe space. You need a safe space, huh, Bruce? I'm sorry indeed. Glowing the Hobbit, sir. There's the puppy. There's little baby. Thank you, Glowing the Hobbit, for becoming a member at the Army of Asgard level. Thank you very much, good sir. I appreciate that. Thank you. You are awesome. All righty. Let's see. CWD Trixie says, check out from Robot Chicken, the skit about trailers, the movie. Ooh, nice. I do love me some Robot Chicken. Member J Stowe says, I would pay a little extra for sure, since there are hardly any trailers that pique my interest. Again, I think a lot of people would. I wouldn't, because I personally like them. Larry, too small images, can't tell what they are. And that's probably why I am going to change at least the one to the left. The one of me doing Blue Steel, it's about as close as I can really get on that one. Yeah, YouTube needs to change their system because those are way too small. DLive, if you want to have a lot of fun with GIFs, DLive is the place to be, because DLive has GIFs galore right now. It's insane. Tina says, after a while, if those trailers last too long, I forget what movie I'm here to see. Forever Sci-Fi said, puppy. Yes, indeed. Oh, they are a good doggo, Tina. Yes, they are. Oh, such a good doggo. as Captain Mr. Roy is posting a GIF, an active GIF over on DLive, much bigger too, of me dancing. It was from the Oscars boycott of the second annual Wednesday Raven Awards. All right, jumping over to DLive for a second. Let's see. Mr. Peabody says, you have more than one member. Must be difficult aiming when you use the toilet. See what you did there. Phonema says, sometimes the trailers are more memorable and better than an actual movie. This is true. Cabinet High says, when you said that you didn't have to type Odin question, people were like, join. That's true, man. They're like, wait, I don't have to keep on tagging this anymore? Gosh. Oh, Mr. Peabody, thank you so much, man. Thanks for becoming a member. Here's the puppy. Oh, here's a good doggo. Who is a good doggo? River. She's a good doggo. Look at her. Yes, indeed. Hi. Yes. Oh, she's such a cute one. I love her. She's out there cuddling with Mama right now. So many new memberships. It's amazing. Thank y'all so much. Member Father Christopher Miller says, I want a photo of Bosco. Bosco? Oh, of St. John Bosco? That'd be a little bit too niche, I think. I don't think everyone would appreciate it. Father also says, I don't want the puppy, I want the kitty. No kitty. No kitty in here. No, see a little kitty cat. I don't think so. No little kitty cat. Alrighty, let's see. Tina says, Biden smelling kids, what, why, and were warrants issued? They should have been. That's for sure. Aiden Vickery, member Aiden Vickery says, green is good, join. Boom, son. Zainwater says, nieces and nephews are the best because you can always hand them back to their parents. Exactly. And usually they're pretty fun. Tina says, yeah, I used to take my nephew and niece to see a lot of movies they wanted to see. Thank God they had their aunt's taste in movies. Oh, I could, yes. Yes, because, oh man. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine? Hyper and X13, plot twist, Frozen is a prequel to The Day After Tomorrow. Elsa goes insane, goes to Earth, and freezes everything. Poor Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh man, that is very sad. Aiden Vickery says, thanks to Gloin the Hobbit. All right, people talking to each other. Let's see. Member Alex McCarthy says, come to think of it, I don't think I have seen other channels use GIFs, so feel so bad. Don't feel so bad, Odin. Okay, yeah. So I know a lot of times people use like stickers instead, but again, I'm still trying to figure it out myself because I didn't have a lot of members until today. So I might have to actually go back and look and see what I can add to it. And I have a lot more time this week, so I'll be able to try and spice things up as much as I possibly can. Father, thank you for clarifying. Your kitty's name is Bosco. My dogs are better because dogs are better than Father. You know this. Father then says, actually, it's named after St. John Bosco. That's what I figured. Bruce says, Soylent Green is people. It is people. Oh, man. And then member Larry says, have I said lately that I love the Valkyries? Hey, they deserve the love. They deserve the love, all the love in the world. Oh, Lord. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Had a troll over on DLive, and I took care of him. I destroyed him. It's like they have nothing better to do with their lives. It's very sad. It's very, very sad indeed. All right, well, we are now caught up, everybody, on all of the YouTube and DLive chats, and it's about time. We're overtime tonight, actually. Overtime. So thank you very much for being awesome people tonight. You guys are all amazing people. I love you guys so very much. Grandmaster Yoda says, in the fall or winter, I will start up an astrophotography on the channel. Hope you will check it out. Interesting. Okay. Very, very cool. But anyway, thank you guys for being here tonight. Thanks to all the new members, to everyone that donated or super chatted tonight. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Helps the channel go. Keep on going. Helps with the giveaways and things like that I try and do more so behind the scenes. And yeah, thank you. Father Christopher Miller says, I'll actually be joining on Tuesday as I canceled RCIA Odin. Oh, well, it's sad because, again, RCIA is so very important, so crucial. Glad you'll be here, but again, very, very sad that is indeed, happening. So, Fusion Chamberlain, thank you for the ice cream donation. I appreciate it. Don't know who you are, but thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Father Christopher Miller says St. Patrick's Day. Ooh, that's right. Tuesday will be the Feast of St. Patrick. Yes, indeed. Oh, boy. I am the sheepdog. Thank you for the $3 super chats and for the huge thumbs up image sticker. It's the first super sticker I think I've gotten on the channel. So thank you so much, man. And big thumbs up to you. I was having my thumb over here. I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't work. Alex, remember Alex McCarthy, play Battlefront 2 every morning. I'll try, maybe. Remember Jace Doe says, be cool. You be cool. Super, as always, thanks for awesome stream. You have a great week. Be healthy. Yes. Cather Wingster. Oh, and don't forget, green on Tuesday. Ah, you're right. Father Christopher Miller, he's about ready, so we're skipping a week. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that he's doing well. I'm glad to hear that he's ready. But anyway, thank you all for being here tonight. Thanks to all the members, to all the Patreon subscriber star members. Y'all are about to get y'all shout out in a second. Next stream will be on Tuesday evening. And if anything for any crazy reason changes, I, of course, will keep you posted and keep you up to date with everything. Again, thanks to everyone for being here tonight. Hope you all had a wonderful time. Please smash that like button before you get out of here tonight. And be awesome and good to each other. And D-Live people, y'all stick around because you know what we about to do. And as member Alex McCarthy says, quoting Yoda, do or do not. There is no try. Have a wonderful night, everybody. And as always, God bless. And now to give a special shout out to my March Patreon and Subscribe Star members, animation commentator Brian P., Dion, David Brobrizik, Divex, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Honker Chunker Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, JJ Jonathan Jerembeck, Kenneth Camiel, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Riff Racer Request, Rosetta Allen, Sir Lancelato, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, and Tina B for Patreon, and my Subscribe Star peeps, Robert Revo, Larry, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Dark Star 57, Alex McCarthy, US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebadan G. Adams, and ZK-Man, and Mike Jackson. Thank you all so much for being my Patreon and Subscribe Star members for the month of March. You are all amazing people. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope that you are enjoying your perks. If you do not know the perks that you get, make sure you read again through all the perks that are listed, and also check your messages if you're over on Patreon, because if you are a $5 and up backer on Patreon, you get special access to giveaways over on the Discord. I send out messages with a link to join the Discord server. I will then hook you up over there, and you'll have access to some really cool giveaways. I give away 4Ks, Blu-rays, digital codes, try and give away at least a couple of big movies, 4K Blu-ray titles a month, and try to do at least 2 to 3 giveaways for when it comes to digital download codes. And I might try and do a little bit more this month as well, because I'm always trying to add extra stuff to it. And also, if you are a $10 or up backer, then you have access to a special podcast that I'm starting to do with John the Flick Pick. That's right, John Flickinger of the Flick Pick channel. We're having a lot of fun with the podcast, and so expect that every couple weeks. And of course, also any extra behind the scenes, extra footage, extra interviews, extra solo podcasts as well, you will also have access to. And my special $25 and up backers on Patreon Subscribe Star, you have access to all of those things that I've listed. You also get a t-shirt. That's right, I will send you a t-shirt for your first month. And of course, you can also be featured on the Chosen to Valhalla live stream once a month. You get to be featured on the Odin's Movie Blog channel. It's always usually on a Sunday around 12 p.m. Eastern time. You get to join some lovely peeps and have some really great discussion with all of the Chosen of Valhalla and me with the live audience. Anyway, you guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.